What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, with another edition of When, Where, Pick, and Dare, where I pick games for the various games that are occurring tomorrow. Whether it's football, baseball, basketball, basically whatever games I want to pick, I will pick them. With all that being said, on with the video. College men's basketball. St. John's Red Storm versus UConn Huskies. St. John's has a 30% chance to win, and UConn has a 70% chance to win. This is at UConn. So St. John's is 15 in the nation, 22-5 record. UConn is 6 in the nation, 25-3 record. For stats, St. John's has more points per game, points against. UConn has a higher field goal percentage. St. John's has more rebounds per game. UConn has more assists per game, slightly more blocks per game, and St. John's has more steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think UConn will beat St. John's tomorrow. Florida Gators versus Texas Longhorns. Florida has a 67.5% chance to win, and Texas has a 32.5% chance to win. This is at Texas. So Florida is 7 nation, 21-6 record. Texas is unranked 17-10 record for stats. Florida has more points per game. Texas has more points against and higher field goal percentage. Florida has more rebounds per game, assists per game, blocks per game, and slightly more steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think Texas will beat Florida tomorrow. Georgia Bulldogs versus Vanderbilt Commodores. Georgia has a 21.3% chance to win, and Vandy has a 78.7% chance to win. This is at Vanderbilt. Georgia is unranked 19-8 record. Vandy is 25 nation, 21-6 record for stats. Georgia has more points per game, points against. Vandy is a slightly higher field goal percentage. Georgia has more rebounds per game. Vandy has more assists per game. Georgia has more blocks per game. Vandy has slightly more steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think Vanderbilt will beat Georgia tomorrow. Texas A&M Aggies versus Arkansas Razorbacks. A&M has a 29.4% chance to win. Arkansas has a 70.6% chance to win. This is at Arkansas. A&M is unranked, 19-8 record. Arkansas is 20 nation, 20-7 record. For stats, Arkansas has more points per game, slightly more points against, higher field goal percentage. A&M has more rebounds per game, assists per game. Arkansas has more blocks per game, and A&M has slightly more steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think Arkansas will beat Texas A&M tomorrow. College women's basketball. Michigan Wolverines versus Ohio State Buckeyes. Michigan has a 65.5% chance to win. Ohio State has a 34.5% chance to win. This is at Ohio State. So Michigan's 8 in the nation, 22-5 record. Ohio State's 13 in the nation, 23-5 record. For stats, Michigan has more points per game. Ohio State has more points against. Michigan has a slightly higher field goal percentage and has more rebounds per game. Ohio State has slightly more assists per game, more blocks per game, and slightly more steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think Ohio State will beat Michigan tomorrow. NBA. Oklahoma City Thunder versus Detroit Pistons. The Thunder have a 41.4% chance to win, and the Pistons have a 58.6% chance to win. This is at Detroit. For injuries for the Thunder, Mitchell, Gilgeous-Alexander, Williams are out. Sorber's out for the season. For the Pistons, Stewart's out for suspension. For stats, Thunder are more points per game. Pistons are more points against. Thunder have a slightly higher field goal percentage. Pistons have more rebounds per game, assists per game, slightly more blocks per game, and steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think the Pistons will beat the Thunder tomorrow. San Antonio Spurs versus Toronto Raptors. Spurs have a 65.7% chance to win, and the Raptors have a 34.3% chance to win. This is at Toronto. For injuries, for the Spurs, Plumlee's out for a non-injury reason, and Jones Garcia is out for the year. For the Raptors, Podol and Hepburn are out. For stats, Spurs have more points per game, points against, slightly higher field goal percentage, more rebounds per game. Raptors have more assists per game. Spurs have slightly more blocks per game. And Raptors have slightly more steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think the Raptors will beat the Spurs tomorrow. Boston Celtics versus Denver Nuggets. The Celtics have a 42.4% chance to win, and the Nuggets have a 57.6% chance to win. This is at Denver. For injuries for the Celtics, Brown and Tatum are out. For the Nuggets, Strother and Murray are game time decisions, and Pickett, Watson, and Gordon are out. For stats, Nuggets have more points per game, points against, higher field goal percentage. Celtics have more rebounds per game. Nuggets have more assists per game. Celtics have more blocks per game and slightly more steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think the Nuggets will beat the Celtics tomorrow. And that's it for picks. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my picks. Do you agree with them? Do you not? If you have different picks, you can put them in the comments. But other than that, please like, subscribe, and all that. Thank you for listening, and look forward to the next video.